I think that one of the big problems is that the left has asserted this position where in order to join the left, you have to prove to the left that you are worthy of it, rather than the entirety of the left needs to prove to the average, everyday, quote unquote, apolitical person that they're worthy of being listened to.
That's exactly it. It's not an exclusive club that we want people to join. And for that, you need to engage with fucking everybody. And that means shitheads as well, unfortunately. But you need to be able to talk to them in a way.
The majority of people are then probably shitheads on some level.
But then again, you're no longer allowed to think for yourself or feel the world out for yourself. You're no longer allowed to construct a morality all on your own. We're going to do it for you. It's fucking weird and coercive. It's like you no longer have the right over your own moral faculties. And this whole situation is a prime example of that, Peter, because you made the choice to say yes to this event. And you made that choice feeling at ease in your own morality. And then these morality police came in and were like, well, Peter, your morality is wrong. And you have no right as an adult human being with your own agency. You have no right to exercise your own morality. We're going to do it for you. And if you decide to go against what we say, then we're going to coerce you using threats and financial coercion.
They're pretty good at stalking, let's go ahead and say.
And they I cannot understand. I don't know, who are these people, Jake? Who are these people? I've never seen anybody like this in the street. I don't know anybody in my life.
I have. I've seen them in the street. I've seen them in the street like every now and then. I want to call the police on someone leaving their house to buy Diet Coke and Ben & Jerry's.
Karens.
What flavor?
What flavor?
Cookie dough.
Cookie dough.
We're
Cookie dough.
I love cookie dough.
Cookie dough is
That's
great.
Like the only edible flavor by them.
Look.
Yeah, I agree.
You can call me a bad person for this, but my favorite flavor is One Love, which is the Bob Marley dedicated Ben & Jerry's flavor, which is banana and caramel, and it's fucking amazing.
That sounds
Why would we
really
call
good.
you?
Sounds good, though.
It's got like little chocolate
But
peace
is
signs
it
in it
real
as well.
banana or
No,
this?
there's no such thing as real
No, it's
banana.
not. Yeah, no.
I
I
hope
it's like
it's not actual banana.
It's like the banana you get in like a banoffee pie. Like that kind of like pasty kind of like candy like a pasty kind of like a caramel sort of banana. Yeah.
I'll pass.
Sounds good to me.
But yeah, I don't mean to go off on a rant. It's just deeply frustrating. Like I was so angry when Peter told me about the fact that he was forced to drop out. It just it felt like such an injustice and like a slight.
Well, it's bullshit. Just go ahead and it's bullshit. There's no good reason for me not to go and talk to a bunch of new people. It's stupid. It's genuinely just and they're not going to be happy that I say this shit because they think that because I'm not doing it, I've totally changed my opinion on it. But no, it's because they're a bunch of coercive assholes. That's why I'm not doing it. Let's say I went there and it was the biggest fucking disaster. What does that do, materially speaking, when we've proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that no matter how much we tweet, we can't get Bernie Sanders into the White House. No matter how much we tweet, we can't get a single-payer healthcare system. No matter how much we tweet, it means nothing. The tweeting is for you. It is for your own personal benefit. It's for you to feel good about your stance. It's for you to find other people who also feel good about your stance and talk to them. This stuff, let's make the assumption I bomb horribly. It means nothing. Let's make the assumption I do okay and bring a few people with me back to the left. Great. Net gain.
Yeah, because these people view tweets as activism, and so
yes, they do.
And so when they quote tweet someone they disagree with to have a dunk or a joke and it gets 500 retweets, they see that as their political work done for the day. Meanwhile, if someone actually wants to go out into the real world and speak in front of a real audience where words have much more of an impact, much more than online, that is seen as being a Nazi sympathizer. It's seen as you are using these reactionaries online on Twitter. You are leeching off of them for your own social capital, but that's not a problem. That's not a problem.
Exactly. That's literally the critique that I was saying on Twitter. Like you're 100% right. The fact that it's this sort of thing of wanting to sort of keep politics hostage online. They don't want to actually see people getting into like real situations and doing stuff because it makes them feel like, well, maybe I should be doing something too.
Or it just totally invalidates what they're like, oh, so you think that tweets aren't activism?
But that's the thing though, that in order to sort of round this conversation out and on this specific subject, I do want to say that like you have value, Peter. Even if you went there and you fucking bombed, you're still a person, you still have value. You've made some incredible critiques over the years, and just even if you went there and you bombed, that doesn't mean that you're not somebody of value. And like these people have no loyalty whatsoever, and it's like, perform for me or you have no value. And I think it's disgusting, just because if somebody doesn't make a point correctly or they bomb or they do this, that doesn't mean that they're not a human being without value. And I would hope that if I decided to do this and I didn't do a good job, you would also continue to think that I had value as a person.
Obviously.
And that I did something and I wasn't successful at it, because people do stuff and they're not successful at it all the time. And if I am successful about it, then that's great too. It's really disturbing to me how we treat each other on the left, the way that we undermine each other, the way that we make each other feel like shit. And by that, I specifically mean the liberal left and how they do that, how they fucking do that.
Yeah, we need to absolutely separate this sort of still liberal influenced movement calling itself the left from a left that's based on like solidarity and like the idea that working together can actually accomplish something. I mean, these are very basic ideas, but I mean, there is a big separation between the attitude that perpetuates this mode and that mode that I just described.
And that's the thing. These hoes ain't loyal. So you got to be careful out here in these streets. That's what I say. Like, that's what I fucking say. Like, these hoes ain't
It's
loyal.
true.
You got to watch your back.
It's true.
And protect your neck. But that's the thing, is like, I'm such a gung-ho person that I can't just cower in the face of like coercion. This is the reason why I am tempted to go and actually take Peter's place and volunteer as tribute, like Katniss Everdeen, because I can't just like look at this sort of coercion and like lie down taking it. Like, something doesn't sit well morally about that to me. And I don't want to communicate the message that these people can just coerce and get their way. You know, I fucking don't have a manager. I don't have a manager for you to call. So like, cry, bitch. Fuck you. Like, cry. Like, fuck you. Like,
I think more so, like, it needs to be shown that a leftist goes into these situations in a different manner than a liberal does. It's just that simple. Like, I said this in the video, but like, these liberals over the years have gone to these myth cons and these Minds Live stuff. They've gone there with like prop books, and they've tried to act as though they know more
just
linguistic.
this like rancid air of like superiority, basically.
Yeah, they go in and they're like,
Yeah.
you horrible people.
And yeah,
you
they
don't know
antagonize.
anything. They antagonize. They get these people riled up, and the crowd boos at them, and then they get on Twitter and they're like, I said that women are equal to men, and they booed me. And it's like, shut the
Oh my
fuck
God.
up. Fuck, we got it. That can't be the left. That's not the left. It's not like you go out to the working class, and I'm not saying that people who buy tickets to this thing are working class, but I
Some of
am
them
saying
are.
that the working class will see the fucking video. They will fucking see it. Everyone uses YouTube. It doesn't matter how rich or poor you are. Everybody gets onto that fucking site. They type in things and they get down these fucking rabbit holes, and they'll see somebody who isn't acting like a total fucking
Asshole.
condescending piece of shit.
Zizek had every single right to be arrogant when he was debating Peterson. He's an academic in the same vein as Peterson. He has as much cultural sort of capital as Peterson. He could have gone there and been absolutely arrogant. But like, the thing that kind of made me like really heartened by the way that he dealt with the situation was in his affect. He was incredibly warm, and he was also really cheeky. He was cheeky as well. Like
he had Peterson laughing.
Yeah, he had
lot.
Peterson laughing quite a bit. And like, he didn't go in there and be like, oh, look at this disgusting right wing.
Look at this piece of shit over here. He is trash.
He didn't go, but they
He
would
should
have
die of
loved
terminal
it.
cancer. I am thinking that he should die of terminal cancer.
They would have loved it if he had done that, though, because I remember after
The left would have.
Yeah, the left
right
would
would have
have.
not, and
Yeah.
they wouldn't have listened to a goddamn word he
See,
said.
he said no. The left would have fucking loved it if Zizek. They would have uncancelled him. They would have given him all kinds of accolades. They would have been so happy that he went in there and did the chud dunking. But the fact that he didn't do the dunking of the chuds made them be like, oh, well, I didn't like it. I think Zizek is secretly a Nazi. And it's like, oh my gosh, like.
But let's talk
Dude.
about which interaction during 2019 rendered Jordan Peterson obsolete.
And
Was
in a-
it
and in a
Eddie
coma.
canceling?
And in a coma.
In a coma. Yeah, he's in a coma now in Siberia.
Oh, wait, wasn't this when he had a bottle of cider or like a drink of a mouthful of cider?
That was actually, I think, a little bit before this.
okay.
But this debate was the last big thing Peterson did. Do people think that's a fucking coincidence? Do they not understand that a bunch of his fan base was exposed to a Marxist who he has demonized nonstop for years and years? The Marxists are coming. They're going to destroy us all. Blah, 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 blah. And he contradicted that narrative entirely for a good, like, probably 40% of Jordan Peterson's fan base, which is a very large chunk. Like, a lot of people tuned into this thing. They were ready for Big Daddy Peterson to fucking destroy the cultural Marxist. And you know what happened? They listened to fucking Zizek and they were like, actually, you know what? He's got a point. And the other thing is that the argument against what I just said would be, but Milo Yiannopoulos could do that with your audience. And that's not true because it's not my audience tuning into this fucking thing, for one. And for two, if you go up and you fucking do the low info fucking lying shit that these people do, like up against Zizek, Peterson's characterization of Marxism looked fucking stupid because
And
Zizek gets up
unhinged.
there and says what's real. And he says, look it up. Look into this for yourself. And if you do that, you end up seeing that it's Zizek that is correct. Peterson is wrong. And that is why materialism matters.
Works.